Tony, how you doing?
I want to make sure I had the right number. I wasn't sure. I wrote it down fast when I wrote it down, and for some reason I seem to have gotten it wrong. I've been trying to call you for 2 days, but I was dialing 9949.
No. 9848. Kind of
Yeah, I
rhymes.
got it now.
Kind of rhymes.
Huh?
It kind of rhymes. 9848.
Yeah, I got it. 9848.
Yep.
What's going on?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the prosecution had to have their paperwork in today from the U.S. Attorney's Office on their objections to my motions. So now I should get them within the next couple of days or by Monday at the latest. Then I can object back to that. But I think somewhere in the course of the next 2-3 weeks or so, we should be back in the court again. And there's no reason why they think they have any way to hold me. So it's got to go on, including the release spot. Supervised release will all be completed on the 22nd of this month.
Good.
So it should be just a walk out the door.
Good.
So.
Well, that's what we're praying for.
Well, at least the others are all out in the street anyway. The other three are out.
That's right.
Yeah. So, anyway, I tried to call one of them. I left a message. I sent him a letter. I got his mailbox number. With no reply so far.
They're not allowed to talk to each other.
Huh?
They're not allowed to talk to each other, as far as I know.
Oh, is that what they said?
Yep.
What makes them think they can tell everybody they can't talk to each other? It goes a little bit too far.
Yeah, you're right about that. It's ridiculous.
No, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, it's more than that now. The case that I have developed out of all of this here shows that the first trial that they did on us was really bogus. What they said was about us on the evasion and stuff of the tax, and that was true. But the reason for it was with intent, because we needed to have them show us the law. The money was not being spent on anything. It was being held at the house. We had the money to pay it. That's why I offered to pay it in the courtroom.
Yeah.
But they didn't charge us with income tax evasion, as it turns out. I just got the paperwork from the attorney a week and a half ago. And when I read it, I almost fell on the floor. They didn't charge us for income tax anything. They charge us for structuring only.
You're kidding.
Nobody even knows, huh?
You're kidding me.
No, and nobody even knows what structuring is, including me, until I read what they put down.
Do you know?
Foolishness.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but did you know Pastor Kent Hovind, a.k.a. Dr. Dino, did 9 years for structuring?
9 years for structuring. That's insanity. Structuring is definitely an unconstitutional issue, and I'm going to bring that up.
Good.
In the case. So what I'm preparing is what they call a qui-tam action case. Forming a qui-tam action in admiralty suit for fraud in common law jurisdiction. Now, the last time I filed it, they all recused themselves in the court. And I didn't know what to do with that. But if they recuse themselves this time, that means they have abandoned the case, and I'm going to have the case taken to another court, okay, as directed by the appellate court or by the Supreme Court. Because the case is not going to go away. The court system in the state of New Hampshire is defunct, as I'm sure it is all over the country, for the way they're acting and what they're doing and how they're operating. It's not correct anymore. But they got to talk about it. See, they're trying to avoid this discussion. So what we found out about the courts are several things. The court itself in New Hampshire has never ceded the land properly. So they're operating a business as a courthouse for the last 25 or 30 years unconstitutionally. Mm-hmm. And nobody brings it up. However, we're going to be talking with the Secretary of State about it real soon, and one of them is already aware of it. They even did a memorandum on it, and they're kind of like wondering, how come nobody's doing nothing about it? Well, because of that and a few other things, and the structuring itself, I can make it a fraud against the United States of America. And as a quiet cam means I represent myself and the United States for the fraud against the United States by the actual agents within the United States government. And that is actually going on. And I bet you're gonna find out it's going on in a lot of places around the country.
Yeah,
So we're kind of sitting back on it now.
Yeah.
Not getting upset.
I remember hearing something like that from Kent Hovind about the Pensacola Federal Courthouse. And I'll tell you a quick story. We were, a bunch of us praying outside, let my pastor go. And then the next thing you know, their brand new $3 million courthouse or whatever it was infested with black mold. And they had to move out of the brand new one across the street to the old one because they couldn't stay in the moldy one that was infested with mold. And it was also on, it was on property that was not owned by the government. It was leased somehow. I can't recall right now. But Pastor Hovind brought that up too.
Where is he now?
He got out. They tried to charge him with mailing a letter, a Liz Pendants, about his property in Pensacola, Florida, that they seized when they put him in prison. And he mailed a Liz Pendants. They tried to give him 20 years, and they had a trial, and it was jury nullification. One juror said, no way, you can't give him any more time than he's already done, and he's out. And so now he's divorced. He's divorced twice now since he got out, and remarried a third time, and he has a wonderful dinosaur Adventureland creation science evangelist museum in Lenox, Alabama.
Good for him.
Yep. He's doing very, very well.
All right, as long as he's okay. I got a book of something from him.
The kennel? The kennel? The dog?
No, about the water, about the flood.
Okay, yeah. Noah's Ark.
Noah's flood.
Yeah. He's the world's best creation science evangelist.
Is that what he is?
That's what he is. And that's why they locked him up, and that's why they targeted him.
Separatist, religious, Christian. They don't like separatists.
Yeah.
They've got a problem.
Yeah, I know.
So I just want to keep you posted up here. As soon as I get this information, then I'll catch back up to you again in a few days, so probably the first of the week. What's the best time to usually reach you, Karen?
Any day other than Wednesday, and the best time is in the evening.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. And you can call as much as you want to, because we put aside funds specially for your calls. We love to hear from you.
Well, you're going to be hearing from me a lot once I get out of here, because I'm going to get very, very busy.
Good.
With the Spartacus project for educational healing, or I should say healing education.
Good.
We are really going to put together that school system that we're talking about to try to change the educational system in this country.
That's good.
It's got to change.
That's good
we
news.
want children to graduate with a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
4-year course.
A lot more people are homeschooling nowadays.
Well, they have no choice.
Yeah.
Public school system is gone.
Yeah.
We want the system designed for the government to take it over. We don't want to do this, but we've got to change the ideology of all of it. Is what this is all about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only part of one project. It's going to be probably about 12, 13 projects that we know about so far that we're going to be doing, major ones. Drugs, statehood, and other things,
Cool.
Legalizing drugs is going to be one that's going to make a lot of people screaming and hollering and yelling, but it's been working in Amsterdam and in Portugal for a couple of decades now, and it works very well.
Makes sense.
So instead of spending billions of dollars on a war on drugs, would have them save millions and billions of dollars and even make it billions of dollars because of the people who want to have it, let them have it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
let's not fight them. Don't turn it into a crime like they did with alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they've been doing. They've had, what, how many years now in this war on drugs? About 30, 40 years?
Yep. It's a failure.
And it doesn't work. Yeah, total failure. Just like education is becoming a total failure in this country.
That's for
So
sure.
if they don't want to straighten it out, it's going to be up to us. We're going to straighten it out for them.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. My health is very good, but it's tentative, only because if I have to go back to the BOP,
No.
it ain't going to last long.
No. We
It
don't
won't
want
last
you.
long with that.
We don't want you going there.
Neither do I. Too much to do. Okay. Anyway, so I will call you like on Monday.
Cool.
But that's a good time.
Yep.
At nighttime. What's Rudy doing?
He's learning a new trade. He's learning HVAC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He is
Why,
he's a mechanical and an electrical engineer by trade. He did 20 years at Cisco Systems, and before that he worked at Texas Instruments. He's super genius. But those globalist companies do not like Christians, and they laid him off.
really?
Yep.
Well, he and I can get together on some projects in that area too, because I've into all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Air conditioning stuff. I'm into concrete homes. I insulated concrete homes. And I love them. They're beautiful. They're wonderful. They can make them look like wood houses. Can't tell the difference, but they hold the heat in mean temperature of 58 degrees all year long without anything. So it doesn't take much more air conditioning or heat to warm them or cool them in the summertime.
Did you build your home that you left behind?
Yes, I did.
That was a beauty.
5 stories tall, parts of it. It looks like a stick frame house, but it's all concrete.
Beautiful.
Can't tell by looking at it. Yeah, it's a nice house.
Yeah.
But they ruined it. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm going to take it back. I'm going to review it in about, when I get out of here, I'm going to get out and take a look at it and see just how bad it really is.
Yeah.
But I do plan on coming down to see you guys and sitting down with you as your schedule permits
Cool.
and go over some stuff.
We'll make a barbecue.
Make what?
A barbecue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But more than likely, I'll probably drive down, make a few stops on the way, because there are other people around the country I have to see. But the things we need to talk about on the Spartacus project, and you'll see why, because it definitely affects the prison system as well, too. And we change our total prison reform in this country. It's part of one of the projects that we're going to be working on. And I want to talk to you about some of this stuff.
Good.
Talk to you on Monday.
Okay, my dear brother, we love you and we pray for your release. Bye-bye.
Ditto, dear heart. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
The caller has hung up.